Wonderful. So maybe you could tell us who you are and how you
Sure.
fit in this ecosystem.
Sure. My name is Heidi Coe. I work at Second Harvest Heartland, and my job there is local food system program manager. And what we do in that realm is support historically marginalized farmers by finding markets for them and purchasing from them at full price. So I'm here just to support this event and urban agriculture.
Fabulous. I'm curious, in doing that, if you've noticed what is it that allows farmers to succeed in getting their produce to you, and what kinds of things that they've often needed to be successful in that.
Sure. So, boy, I could talk for a long time on that. Community is needed, support is needed in the form of finding markets and helping farmers scale and build so that they can access more markets. So perhaps they start with a farmer's market, but then what do they need so that they can sell wholesale and scale up to that? And what technical assistance do they need? What support do they need to continue to build their business so that they have the ability to access more markets?
So when you're working with them, do you provide things like cold storage, or is that something they have to figure out how to get? Like, I'm partly thinking, what are the barriers to entry here?
Sure. So when we're talking about the role I play and the role the emergency food system plays in this, we have a number of different ways that we connect. So we connect farmers directly with our food shelf partners so that cold storage isn't necessarily needed. The farmer harvest goes directly to the food shelf where they have cold storage, or they have developed a relationship so the farmer knows what day to deliver so that the food is then distributed immediately. And I just also want to reiterate again that we aren't asking these farmers to donate. We are looking at the food system from the beginning to the end, and we want to support. We don't only want to make sure we're feeding people who are hungry and feeding them culturally appropriate, or offering them culturally appropriate foods. We also care about where we're sourcing that food and who we're getting it from, and so we purchase from them at full price.
I really appreciate your emphasis on that, because globally we know that the majority of the world's hungry people are people who are recently displaced farmers. So keeping people able to have a livelihood in farming is part of a healthy food system. So.
And it impacts the community in a huge way. Every dollar that's invested ripples out at $1.72. So it's like your dollar is hitting twice there, right? You're supporting that farmer, but you're also supporting the entire community economically.
So as you think about the sources of support that have been available to make it possible to purchase from farmers, and we look 5-10 years, generations in the future, what do you think is going to be necessary to make it so that everyone who wants this food can have it, and everyone who wants, who has a agricultural inclination can be part of this in some way?
Whoever wants to farm can farm, and at a living wage. Policy change. We need policy change that will support local foods and produce farming. There's a lot of subsidies and federal support for commodity farming. We need that for produce farming as well, and it needs to be long-term. Farmers need to know that they have sales not only throughout the year, but the next year and the next year and the next year. They need contracted sales in order to put financials together so that they can possibly meet with a financial advisor for a loan if that's what they want. There's numerous reasons that contracted long-term sales are needed, and long-term funding, and it needs to be policy change.
Anything else you want to add about the world of urban agriculture?
I love not only that it's growing food, but it's growing communities. So, even this event right here shows that it's a place for people to gather around something that's joyful and meaningful and uplifting. So when we grow urban farming, we grow urban communities and places of health and safety and connectedness.
I so appreciate you bring that in, because it also helps us, I think we have a tendency, especially with these new programs that feel new, to think of urban agriculture as new, but to remind ourselves that this has always been here.
Yes.
It's just new that it gets supported in this
Right,
way.
right,
And
right.
that's really exciting because
Yeah.
you can see with such little supports how much it's persisted. With the new supports, it can thrive
Right.
tremendously. So
Yeah.
wonderful. Thanks so much for talking to us today.
Yeah. This is great. Yeah.